I have Sad Variant picture.
Yeah, Sad Variant is always hello everybody. We are live. It is Wednesday night, September 9th, 2020, and this is Geekgasm. I'm the founder of Indie Volt, Varian Grant. Been making comics since 2008, which makes me an expert. That's right, an expert on all things comics. What do you say, Lola? Are you tossing in people? Well, you know, I'm not going to take this abuse.
I question you a lot.
You do question me a lot, and you know, if it wasn't for malpractice, well, not malpractice, I'm not a doctor, not yet. But if it wasn't for civil suits, I would have told you off by now. So I can't do that though. You know where the bodies are buried, so I have to be nice. And we got a great panel for you guys tonight. Got the Indie Princess, got Stephanie, got Meredith back, as well as a whole lot of guests: Daphne Lage, McKayla Jade, and the one and only JDA, who's drinking out of a very fancy glass. Right now, Indie.
We're classy. We're classy here.
Indie Volt radio numbers right now trickling in right now. We are right now being listened to in France and Germany. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Right now, 506 people listening on Indie Volt Radio. So thank you guys. We got a good show planned for you. You won't hear my voice all night because I'm gonna, you know.
You won't stay away.
I'm not gonna stay, but I'm getting out of here.
No, you're not.
I'm getting out of here, man. I got
Getting out of here.
I got things to do. Yeah. Here's the intro. When we come back, everyone will introduce themselves. Here we go.
Got me drinking.
Sorry, I have so much pride. Hey guys, it's me, the Indie Princess, and you guys are watching Geekgasm. I am back. Only for a couple weeks, though. Then I have my co-host taking over for me. Unfortunately, I have to get surgery done, so I'll be out for a while.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, so Steph, you and Meredith are going to be taking over Geekgasm. Surprise!
That's good to know. I did not see that one coming.
Well, hopefully the
the
surgery is painless and as quick as possible.
It's not going to be painless at all.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to go in like high because it's not going to be painless.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So Steph, you can go ahead
and
introduce yourself.
What do you got going tonight?
Well, we got this going on tonight. I'm Stephanie. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on. I'm a writer, comic book writer, write all kinds of things. I also have a lot of nachos in my stomach right now. So you're welcome for me sharing that with you.
You gonna let out a big belch or something like that?
You know, I don't know yet. I just felt like it was pertinent information.
You know, because we're all adults here and we can eat whatever we want for dinner.
Yeah.
I've got goldfish and M&Ms for my dinner right now.
Oh man, I'm jealous. That looks good.
Hi everybody, I'm Meredith Loughran. I wear many hats, but I am one of the editors and the producer of the Geek Insider podcast. So we do Geek Speak, which is actually moving over to Indie Volt. And I actually do Indie Vent. I am the project coordinator of that. And I would love to mention that a little bit later, but I'm going to pass the baton to Daphne, let you introduce yourself as well.
Hey, hi, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am the artist of the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales, also written by J.D. Calderon. The series spans more than 20 issues, and you can check out my work at talltalesonline.com. That's Tales, Tails, online.com, and my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage Art.
McKayla.
My name's McKayla Jade. I write historical paranormal romance for right now. I write lots of stuff, but that's what's being published right now. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and of course my website, authormckaylajade.com.
Cool. JDA.
That's me. I am John Delarose, and I'm here because I'm a male model.
And you are surrounded by beautiful women.
Mhm.
Actually, who's got the board? Let's move him in the center. That would be fun. There. Oh, perfect.
Right.
There you go.
Oh man.
I'll be making cocktails all night. So this is I'm actually working on my bartending skills. Last night I was doing an old fashioned, and I was doing the thing where you set the orange peel on fire. You know, have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
And so I perfected that last evening. Did a great job, and I made a sidecar tonight. And I made this out of I don't even remember the name of the brandy. Who knows? But I made it out of some brandy from France, and then fresh squeezed lemon juice and some triple sec, and it works out pretty good. So
Salud.
So
Wait a minute.
That is.
Did you just say you made a drink called an old fashioned?
yes,
That's the name of it?
They're
That's the name of it.
delicious.
Yes, they're delicious.
Dude.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. They need to change that name. They need to change that name.
Have you
Like-
never had an old fashioned for real?
I've had an old fashioned, but not a drink.
Uh-oh.
I feel like I need to Google something.
It's
No,
Yeah.
Don't do
something.
it. Don't do it.
Don't Google.
Don't do it.
Do not Google anything that is mentioned anywhere on this program.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm just saying, I've had an old fashioned, and John, what was in that drink? I'll leave it at that. I'm just
So an old fashioned is just whiskey with bitters and some sugar and an ice cube, and that's it. And then my version, I put orange peel oil from the lighter on top of it to add that like extra smoky flavor. But yeah, it's good stuff.
I see. After the old fashioned, I had more. Only one person is bitter, not me. All right, I'm out here.
Gosh, we're about to get canceled, people.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Where is
honestly,
my
You can't get
disclaimer?
canceled on your own show.
yeah. There's nothing we can say that could get us canceled, which is why I like this show.
Oh, good.
We may need that disclaimer though.
Yeah.
And here I was worried.
No, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're
What a
you're
waste
good.
of
I
time.
was worried. I'd
We
say
do
something
have a
and it's like,
disclaimer,
go
but
too
the board
far.
person never put it up.
I disavow variant just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will write strongly worded tweets.
Hey, Michael in the chat, thank you very much for showing up and hanging out. Appreciate it. So
Indie Princess, what's going on?
I'm trying to pull up the questions, but my board person is being slow. Steph,
There
you
we
can go ahead and read it.
All right. My wife is showing a growing interest in comics. I'm not a fan, but I've heard terrible things about the community, the lifestyle. The whole business of comics seems really shady and filled with 80% shitty people. Any tips? And this is from Alec.
Don't get in the fandom, but enjoy the comics.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much you can say that about any fandom, where it's like, especially nowadays, it's like fandom is like just fandom in general. It could be anything. It's just like really toxic and weird.
it is.
But I think it's really easy to you go to your local comic book store, you pick up stuff there, and you enjoy the books. I mean, kind of like going to Barnes and Nobles and picking up a novel and being able to enjoy stuff without even knowing about the fandom. Just don't engage with the fandom if you're uncomfortable with it.
I have to say, Alec, that I've heard terrible things about the community, the lifestyle. They're 100% true. The business of comics is very shady and filled with 80% shitty people. You are 100% correct.
I wasn't going to say anything, but now that you've just went there, no, I'm just kidding. There are bad apples in any business. And I think that, is true with comic books, as in, any type of writer or any type of art. 80%, I think, is a really high number, because I would say like 95% of the people I know that do this are incredible human beings, and they're talented and sweet. So I don't know where you're getting your information from. Maybe it's somebody who is a negative person and maybe isn't giving you the best information. But comic books are awesome, and most people that work in comics are pretty awesome too.
Mhm.
So
And I was going to say that opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah.
Not that
And they
I'm
all
calling
want to show
you-
them off on the internet.
Right. And Alec, please understand, Alec, I am not calling you an asshole. I'm saying that everybody's got an opinion. And,
She is
one of the
calling me an
things-
asshole, though, just to clarify.
I don't know you well enough. That'll come in time, I'm sure. No, but no, seriously, everybody's got an opinion. And quite honestly, if there's a genre that you like to read, I suggest you get some recommendations from people who do like comic books, and they will lead you to probably a book that you would enjoy.
Yeah.
And so don't knock it till you try it.
absolutely.
McKayla,
Yes, what?
you have an opinion on that?
For comic books, no, but it's the same in the romance genre. I've had a personal experience with, at first, you think, oh, wow, everybody's friendly and everybody's great.
Mhm.
And then you make an opinion known and it's, wait a minute, now half of your so-called friends are gone. Like,
I've
wait
watched.
a minute, we were friends, dude. What happened? I had an opinion.
Yeah.
I'm on the sidelines of romance. I like romance and I like writing romance. And I know that's not a like normal male opinion these days, but it should be because I'm a Latin lover, so it just is what it is, right?
Right.
But I've watched this discussions in the Romance Writers of America, and oh my gosh,
Yeah.
those get out of control. I mean, it is get some popcorn because
Oh
some
yeah,
crazy
and it
stuff goes down.
it went from we made a mistake, we're trying to fix it, to here we fixed it horribly.
Because why do it right? Yeah, no, it was that was
Like,
pretty
I don't know
intense.
who you consulted, but it wasn't the right person. That was not the right image you wanted to portray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that went horrible.
Funny
And
stuff.
honestly, when I was younger, my mother was addicted to romance novels, totally addicted to romance novels. And my father would be, he would troll her, he would tease her, and she didn't care. She just kept on reading them. And, because I absolutely loved my dad, I was just parroting a lot of the things that he said, so I had these these preconceived notions already. And my mother got fed up. She finally said, shut the hell up and read one of them before you say anything.
Mhm.
And I did. And then I was hooked. And then we were ganging up on dad. So, and we told him, I'm like, well, before you tease about it, why don't you read one? And we'd catch him every once in a while because he had to commute on the train. So he had like 2 hours one way, to read. So there's that. But I think that's with any industry. You're going to have your haters, but you're going to have people who really don't know. And maybe you're just parroting that idea that the industry is terrible. Sure, they're terrible people. That's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Right.
I like to apply the 80-20 rule to everything. That it's like, it's not that that fandom is terrible, but that 20% of the people in it are terrible. And they're the ones making all the noise. So it's really not as many people as you think they are. They like to pretend that they're more than they are, but they're not.
Can I parlay this into romance and superheroes? Because I think that romance and superheroes is an integral part of the genre. And if you look at where people actually get invested into these comics, and I'm not saying that my book Flying Sparks does this, but it does. So if you look at where people where they get invested, it's for Superman. It's like, will he, won't he with Lois Lane, right? And it's like, is Clark Kent gonna overcome his like dork personality and like actually show her the real him? And that's like the part of those characters that you fall in love with and that connects you to them to the point where you care about them a little more. Because if it's just a dude in tights beating somebody else up and a dude in tights, that's not that exciting, right? I guess it is. I mean, I guess I can watch. I guess I watch UFC.
MMA?
So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, exactly. It's like, well, that would be the closest. Yeah.
So I lied, but you got both those elements, and the combination of both of those elements is why everybody gets invested in it.
Well, and also it's like most people, I mean, are more likely to be in a relationship or be affected by a relationship than be in a fist fight.
True.
Yeah.
I've only been in
So,
one fist
yeah.
fight in my entire life,
Right.
and it was because of a girl. So should I tell this story? I guess so. All right.
Wait.
Uh-oh. Standards and practices. It's
Sorry.
checking in.
I just want to know how the fight started, and I want to be here for it.
All right. So I was 100% the good guy in this, and I'm not exaggerating. So I was sitting there, and I took out this girl, and I don't remember her name at this juncture. Very beautiful Japanese girl, and she was a transfer student at my college. And we went out, and a couple people joined us, and this dude joined us. And at the bar, he started getting touchy with her. He like this happens. I feel a lot with like sort of foreign exchange students. They like kind of can't speak the language, and so people get a little aggressive. This guy was getting a little aggressive with her. And, he started touching her leg and things like that. And so eventually I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, and knock it off. Like, she doesn't like it. You could tell by her body language going like this towards me.
That obviously this guy was completely ignoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's not saying anything because she's, a shy gal and she barely speaks the language. Just knock it off. I'm going to do it for her. And he didn't knock it off. He just kept at it. And so eventually I'm like, dude, you're going too far. And I stand up. And he stands up too, and he starts looking all macho. So I just throw a punch at him, and I hit him pretty good, and he ran away, and that was the end of that.
Good for you. Good for you.
All right, JDA.
So save the girl. She did not get inappropriately touched for the rest of the night,
That's
and
good.
the dude
awesome.
went away. So
Awesome. Yeah, but
See,
Marian's disappointed.
I know.
yeah.
He was hoping
the
for
girls
like,
aren't
Barbara,
disappointed though. I know my audience very well.
tables
Yeah.
are flipped,
The girls aren't disappointed.
chairs are broken.
Yeah, I'm gonna write the Spike TV version of that. There's gonna be a lot more ass kicking and blood and guts in it.
I was pretty shocked. I'm like, I'm
The
not
bar
that
is
big
set
of a
on
guy.
fire.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know why he ran away like that, but
Let me. You know what? I'll tell you a story real quick, and then I'm out of here again. My fighting story is this. I used to, when I was in elementary school, I would, I would talk a lot of junk to the kids, and I was short, so I had to, I got a Napoleon complex, so I gotta say what I, want, and then I'd run home. Well, my father, he's a military guy, he got upset. He said, "Look here, either you're gonna go out there and fight those kids, or you're gonna fight me." And that right there was a day that I whooped my father's ass.
And you became the next meta baron.
JDA putting Rob on blast. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Rob, leave those ladies alone at that bar. All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put the last question up for the night.
Rob would never.
I'm gonna put the last question up for the night for you, Lola. Here we go, and there you go.
Why are female creators such hard asses?
Ooh, fun one.
Ooh, I know. I'm already excited about this one. In 2017, I asked a chick with her comic to take a photo with me, and she said no very rudely. I asked her, "What the fuck? Are you in witness protection?" She said she didn't take photos with a rando. Good luck selling your book. You just lost a customer. And this is from our good friend, Lou.
Oh, is Lou a regular?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I can only speak from personal experience. I have taken 1 million photos with tons of people who bought my books. I've signed 1 million books for people for free. For me, it's not a big deal, but some people don't feel comfortable doing that. And if that's a boundary that they have, it doesn't mean they're hard asses. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like with any other professional person. We all have our boundaries and our limits. And if that woman didn't feel comfortable taking a photo, that's her right. And I'm sorry that it upset you, but, you move on then. I
mean, I just love the way that he said that. Why are all of us such hard asses? Like he met every single female creator and had this exact same encounter each time. Which, if that was the case, it's like, well, maybe it's you, Lou.
Right. And like I'm sitting here wearing a pink thing with like little dog ears on it. Like I am not a hard ass at all.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
right. Yeah.
I'm adorable as hell, damn it.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Nice.
You.
No, but I mean,
I
it's
think
like
you have an evil side.
Yeah, there's certain levels to the question, though. It's like, because it's like one, we don't know how Lou's behavior made her act this way, and especially if she's tabling at a convention by herself. She doesn't have the luxury of having somebody to chase weirdos off. So if Lou is coming off like a weirdo, that's probably the only way that she could have gotten rid of him.
Right.
On the other hand, maybe she was just having a bad day and really didn't regulate her moment. So, okay, maybe she really was being rude. You know, it could be anything, but it's like it could. I mean, it could be either way. I mean, like I said, it's like if Lou met every single female creator and they all acted this way, it's like, oh, that sounds like a Lou problem.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, yeah, it could go either way. But also the thing is too is that I don't know, because it's like the way. Also, it's like it ends with, oh, you just lost me as a customer. It's like, you know, did we really?
Yeah.
Most people that say they've lost you as a customer were not actually customers.
Right. Yeah. It's
right.
Like, yeah. It's like
I would love to hear JDA's opinion about
I've got
that.
a great opinion on this. So, all right, at risk of upsetting the hard-ass female creators here on the panel with me.
Okay.
Lou.
It's a chance you must take.
Lou. She's just not into you, bro, and you got to move on.
That could all, yeah, you know, that could also be a number 3. That it's like that Lou was trying something and she was just not having it, and he's trying to make it sound like it was an innocent transaction, you know, and it wasn't. So it, you know, we
now we're
can
talking
read a lot into this.
This really gets different.
Yeah, really, you know.
Shout out to the great one, the People's Champion, the Comic Book Hut in the chat. Welcome. So,
hello.
Hey.
Check.
Trying to control the board. My person's slow.
Is anybody like offended being called a chick?
I don't think normal people are.
Yeah.
I try to be more sensitive, and I use the term broads personally.
I mean, I'm pretty
I'm okay
ambivalent
with bitch sometimes, you know.
This is Rob Anderson.
Just buy my book. I don't give a shit.
And I think that they're all chicks. Like the indie devil. Praise Satan.
Is this something new?
Rob, is Varian included in the chicks?
Varian is a gentleman and a scholar, and he is beyond reproach. I've never seen him. He's never even been wrong. Now, excuse me, I have to leave now. I have more devilment to commit. But all women are chicks. I'm out.
Thank you for that wisdom.
Wow.
But also it's like, you know, in terms of words like that, I mean, I think it pretty much depends on context, on how it's being said, you know.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's like, other than that, it's like I'm pretty ambivalent to it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you're gonna come at me with those words, you know, that's different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, McKayla?
About what?
About the original question. The from
Lou,
our favorite
about
person.
Lou. How do you
Lou.
feel about Lou?
Yeah.
It takes a lot to make me say that to somebody. I don't give a who you are.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. So I'm guessing either she had a really bad day or he had a really bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something went wrong there. But to group us all in that group,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
Yeah.
As a Latin lover, I don't have that experience with creator chicks, but when I was 17, not quite legal yet, I'll keep in mind. I met one of my favorite writers, Devin Grayson, who wrote Batman for a while and was Nightwing, probably best known for Nightwing, Black Widow, and she was starting a role playing thing at a convention, and I rolled up and I saw that was going on, and I kind of snuck my way into that little role playing session. And sat next to her, and I got to role play DC Universe characters with a gal who was writing Nightwing at the time, and she crushed it. And we had a lot of fun, lots of laughs, and the best part of that whole situation is she started pulling out these brownies during the deal, and I'm in high school, and I'm just like, hey, hook me up with one of those, and she's all, these aren't just regular brownies, and I'm like,
they're brownies from Canada.
I'm like, even better, let's go. And so she hooks me up. I do the brownie. We role play, and I don't remember anything for the rest of the convention.
Oh.
So there we go.
Wow.
No, but you know what the funny thing about that question is that Neil Adams is pretty much has a reputation of people who come up to him for portfolio. He has a reputation for making grown-ass men cry over their portfolios. Mm-hmm. You know, John Byrne, I've known that it's like you either catch him on a really good day or you catch him on a bad day at a convention. And I've never heard like people like come out and says, oh, why are these comic guys such hard asses? Mm-hmm. You know, and even then it's like Neil Adams and John Byrne are given a lot of grace, even with their their this reputation. So it's like, yeah, but you know what, a girl gets pissy at you and it's all of us, right?
Right. Yeah. It's just another, one of the things that we deal with, working in this industry. I mean, again, it's a different experience for women in any industry, but especially in comics, because even though we do have a lot of women who read comics and write comics and do art for comics, it's still perceived as being very much like a male dominated field.
Yeah.
And so I think it just makes it more difficult to be treated respectfully as a woman doing this, because there are always going to be people who are gatekeeping and trying to minimize what we do in this business, and I'm not going to stand for that shit. And I hope that none of you would either.
Oh, no,
anybody
absolutely.
listening, we are just as important, and the gatekeeping shit's got to stop. It's so annoying.
Well, that's one of the main. I mean, not unfortunately. Fortunately, being in self-publishing, getting into self-publishing as early as I did, allowed me to bypass a lot of that. It's like I didn't have to worry about having to please weirdo editors with biting fetishes. It's like, so it's like,
Isn't that the glory of being indie, though?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like
it is.
Bypass a lot.
We don't have to deal with any of these hard ass bitches, male or female.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we get to do whatever we want, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that what I see is that when you have empowered women who are self-assured and everything, they're either perceived as hard asses or bitches or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
It's not fair, because I mean, business is business. We all kind of get into our creative endeavors because we're doing what we love, but we also want to make a living. And by doing that, you have to be a savvy business person.
Yeah.
And, and so when it comes to things like your branding, sitting at a table and somebody says, can I take your picture? You have the option of saying no. And they should respect that. That doesn't make you a hard ass,
Yeah.
Right.
Long line. Wow, this is getting really escalating in the comments here while we're talking about.
Yeah, it's like
what's going on, Lola, and how did this long list of male suitors start?
And like, where do we sign up?
I don't know. Or you want to sign up?
Sign up. Why?
I
sign up to have suitors or sign up to court the indie princess.
Everybody,
right. Why? I was a little confused about the way you phrased that. Yeah.
Right.
I prefer Drake. I prefer grown ass men. I think that's funny. It makes me giggle.
Oh yeah, grown ass men with the second
Yeah,
one with the
good. Grown
Exactly.
ass men.
yes.
Yes,
This-
that makes me laugh. That makes
Yes.
me giggle.
The astounding ass man. That's a good.
Either one is fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Rapids Comic Con.
Yeah, there's a lot of dickhead comic male creators. I can talk about many of them too. So
Yeah, who's going to read that? Because the radio listeners do not know what it says.
Oh,
I'll read it.
oh right.
Who wants
I
to read
like
it?
reading it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I actually hear a lot of comic book male creators being called hard asses. Have had fans complain about numerous male creators. Yeah. I mean, look, we do stuff we shouldn't do. Not me. I'm perfect. And you had Rob here earlier who said I was a scholar and gentleman. Thank you, Rob. You're
What a nice
right.
guy.
Too kind. And yeah. But I'm glad he finally admitted it. Yeah, I mean, I think that, I've been called an asshole before, but that's
No.
well, it's probably true, unfortunately.
You're the sweetest man I ever met.
Yeah. See, he said you get very few complaints about female creators. Female creators are just nicer. I mean, I feel like Stephanie is a sweetheart at Comic-Con. Yeah. Now Stephanie can have enough. I've seen Stephanie have enough once. She was a little upset at the Comic-Con, and I was like, let me go over here and sit at my table where it's safe. I presume it to be safe. I noticed something, and I got to talk about it. McKayla's backdrop there says "Twisted Fantasies."
She's
I love
creating
the
a dark
I love the
twist in
drawing
it.
on it.
Yeah.
I love the drawing with the girl in the book. I love that.
I know you guys are going to talk about.
My cover artist for my first book did that logo.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I want you guys to talk about that. But I was, I'm in the background. I can't do anything. So I'm about to back out of here. But I want to hear about these twisted fantasies. This is right up my alley. I want to see how
Twisted fantasies.
demented it gets. Yeah, it says on the back of it.
Boy.
Yeah. They need a Lola fan
I'm
club.
not hearing some of this stuff. What'd you say?
Go for it.
Oh,
We can do a little
Varian
fan
was
club.
saying that
Whoever
he
wants
wants.
to make it can.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Go ahead.
Would it be unprofessional of me to move my laptop down there so I can make another cocktail? Like,
No.
Oh my God, JD.
And like we care about
Oh, my-
professional.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I try not to get my kids on the stream and all that, but it might happen. So sorry. in advance.
Well, I guess what Varian was getting at is that he would like McKayla to talk about her dark, twisted fantasies.
Ah,
Yes.
Listed on
Yes.
her banner. Yes.
those are many. I have not written those down yet. But the reason we said that is because every story that I write tends to, just when you think you know what it's doing, it twists. There's some sort of catch, there's some sort of twist. And then it goes a little darker than publishers want it to go. So when I wrote the first one, I was crossing my fingers and toes, hoping that the publisher would not say, listen, we got to get rid of this whole scene. Because to me, that scene was integral to the book, to the hero in the book. And luckily, they came back and they said, no, we know that part is integral to the book. So leave it, but take out some of the parts and don't make it so naughty.
What?
I was like, oh, okay. How far can I push the envelope? And they were like, we'll tell you when you cross the line. So I pushed that line just as far as I could push it, but they wouldn't let me do some stuff. And I'm like, when I get those rights back in 5 years, that book is going dark.
I like it.
Well, and I didn't think it was so dark until some people read it and they were like, this really pushes it. This really, I've not read a romance with this in it, because it's more fantasy, historical, but yeah, there's romance in it because I had to.
Well, when the editor came to you and said that, was that more because of it went against, like, it wasn't fitting in with the type of books that they were known for publishing, or it was just something like, well, we're not personally into that, so we don't want our books to be into that either?
Well, it's hard to say because it's through the Wild Rose Press, and they just came out with their Black Rose line, which is paranormal, and yeah, I think Black Rose is just paranormal because they have a whole other line for erotica. And for paranormal, I pushed the envelope for them. They were like, you can't, like, it ended up on the editing room floor, but how much can I say?
Say it.
Well,
okay. So in one scene, the girl is being tortured, and one guy had himself in his hand, and they were like, "No, you can't do that." I'm like, what? Why not?
Well, you had said something that they had another line for erotica. So would they have printed this book under their erotica line if that was
so? I think so, but because it's a historical romance,
right,
they weren't really sure where to throw it because it's historical, it's romance, it's fantasy,
but that could be erotica too. So
right, right.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of everything. Like the best description I can give is my husband doesn't read books unless they're labeled Calvin and Hobbes or Garfield.
Oh.
Well, at least he's a man of exquisite taste. So.
Right.
There you go.
There's my borderline, okay? I caught the man reading the book, and I thought, fuck it. He's reading it because it's mine, and I wrote it. He's just trying to be the good husband. No. He's like, well, I figured, I'd read it because it's yours. He says, but actually, it's really good. And I said, what? Wait a minute. You read the whole thing? And he said, yeah, I read it. And you know that part where the two guys' heads get bashed together and they explode? And I said, yeah. And he goes, more of that, less of the romance stuff.
Phooey.
It's a romance book, honey. And he's like, yeah, but more head bashing. That's romance.
Romantic head bashing.
Right, yes.
You know.
But also the funny thing is that also points out the weirdness of, they get prudish with one, but two guys' heads exploding.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
We have a question. Or
yeah.
statement,
That's why
rather.
when the scene that was integral to the hero and the book progressing, I was so worried because it gets dark and it pushes the line, and it's like, I might have to publish this myself, and I don't have a clue on how to publish this myself. So that was now that it took them a year to process it, which it shouldn't have, but it took them a year to get that book out. Now, since then, I've learned how to publish it on my own, and I'm like, okay, we're going dark.
Yeah, you see the beauty of going self-publishing, of doing self-publishing.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. I think, and there's a comment from Mog Park here that says, doesn't it bother you there's no clear line to what is cross the line?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I think that's why I go independent. That's why I do self-publish, because there's a lot of times when a lot of my stories, it doesn't fit into a really nice, pretty box.
Yeah, and that was another thing, was they weren't sure if it should be fantasy or if it should be historical or if it should just stay romance. And then it pushes the line for erotica.
Right.
And so it's like, how do you market a book like that?
I mean, because the thing that I hate about the vagueness.
Wait. Did you just say, how do you market erotica? When like 50 Shades of Grey is like the biggest.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. When
Really?
we're talking about mainstream publishing, it's like things have to check off boxes, and it's like, okay, well, this market likes this and that market likes this, but these two tastes don't exactly taste great together, so we don't know what to do with that. I mean, yeah, and it's like, and the problem is, especially with erotica, is that they have such vague outlines as to, like, just the fact that they told you just keep writing until you hit the line, and it's like, look, if you have something you don't want us to do,
Yeah.
don't make us waste our time writing
Mhm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
And
and
Daphne, you've got that challenge also with you have a kind of like an erotic
oh
comic
yes,
book, House of Bob.
right, yes, I have a sketchbook currently on Kickstarter called House of Bob, and it's 24 page. It's a 24 page sketchbook featuring furry fetish pen and ink pieces, and this is kind of like the first time I'm actually able to put this book out there because of, you know, weird definitions of what constitutes pornography. Because at least Kickstarter, when they approved it, I was actually kind of glad with it. And after seeing so many other projects that was similar to it, I was like, okay, you know, I think this is safe for me to put out. Because I mean, in my case, it's not an editor who's trying to vaguely define pornography, it's platforms.
And I want to say something too. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yes,
Daphne,
okay.
to cut you off, but this ties in with what you're saying. From Indie Vote Radio, we got a question. They didn't put their name, but they said here in the UAE, pornography of any type, even romance novels, are illegal.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's
the
the
covers.
United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
And they said that because of that, I noticed on Indie Vote Radio, they said that you know, they used fake covers, and then the books are destroyed once you're
Yeah.
finished with them because you don't want to be caught with that type of.
Oh no, yeah, there it's serious. Yeah,
Yeah.
there it's serious.
Yeah. But
They'll put you in prison for that.
by the way, I hope you're wearing headphones. I
holy
mean,
crap.
like, I don't know if they get that mad over what you're listening to, but thanks for listening to Indie Vote. We appreciate it. All right, I'm out of here. I'm Meredith. You may continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, so my issue was platforms. So it's like, not to call out companies, but you know what? These are the specific ones that I use, like MailChimp. They specifically say in their terms of service, you cannot sell pornography through the newsletters. PayPal, it literally just says you cannot use the service to sell pornography. There was another, I mean, even Kickstarter, in their terms of service, they specifically said no pornography. But, but it's like there's no guideline as to what that means. So I'm pretty much at the mercy of just like putting my sketchbook out there, putting like this artwork out there, and then hoping that it doesn't trigger anything. Oh, Patreon especially. I used to have a Patreon that these pieces, I was doing these pieces for. And I was on a specifically adults only account, which means that on Patreon, if your account was marked adults only, you had to have a direct link to it. You couldn't do a search and find it on Patreon. So what happened was that I ended up with my account being banned. And they said it was because that my censored artwork wasn't censored enough. So I go, okay, fine. So I replaced the pictures. I, fixed them a bit. And then I put everything back on. It's like now it's like the main page only had like Sports Illustrated type pictures. And they go, no, it's not good enough. And I go, what do you mean? It's like, oh, you see this one picture here, the character is showing too much butt.
You got banned on Patreon?
What happened?
You got banned on Patreon?
Yeah, I was temporarily banned on Patreon until on an adults only account until I got until I took out the butt.
I am so jealous of you. That is such good street cred.
Oh boy, it's not as cute as it sounds, because in the end, it's like it just made me like it was just like, oh, okay, Patreon is probably not the best place for me. So, and then that's why in the end I decided to collect all the artwork into sketchbooks instead. So Kickstarter approved the campaign. So yes, I have volume 1 of House of Bob, where I can finally showcase my furry porn in peace.
Jeez.
What's a girl got to do? Jeez.
Yeah,
know,
really. It's like, but it's the vagueness of the no pornography thing, because I have seen people just get banned, and it's so random as to what they get banned for. Like completely, if they're not allowed to use PayPal, they had their accounts frozen, and PayPal took the money because, like, well, you were selling the stuff and it was violated the terms of service, so you shouldn't have this money to begin with. And it's like they never explain what it is. I mean, even with my printer for this sketchbook, I had to email a customer service rep and just to double check whether they'll even print it.
Wow.
So it's a challenge. You would think on the internet that, you can find porn everywhere, it would be a lot easier than it really is. Oh, am I a furry? Not fandom related. Like, I used to be really part of the fandom like 20 years ago, but I haven't really I guess indulged in fandom for a while. The type of work, I guess you could say that, yeah, I do furry work as a genre and as an aesthetic, but personally as a furry, not really. Mm-hmm.
See,
I'm the leader of a group called Alt Furry. So there you go. Yeah.
Alt
furry. I wanted to say, going with pornography.
I knew it, Bella Rose. I knew it.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me spit out my drink.
With writing erotica and things like that, I mean, that's definitely like X-rated stuff, very explicit and stuff. But for some reason, I mean, if there are no pictures associated with it, no drawing, no artwork, no nothing, that's okay. It's accepted more, and I just don't understand that kind of thinking.
Right.
But again, like I've written erotica. I love writing erotica. I love writing explicit scenes and things like that. And a lot of people don't know that about me, and it's like my mother-in-law is just like, I don't do that to your son, I swear, but, but for some reason people think, I mean, you're going to find one side or the other who feel very strongly like, oh, it's dirty, nasty, you're going straight to hell. And then you have the other ones who are like, yeah, to each their own. And then some people who are like, yeah, you could push that a little bit further. I'd like to hear what you guys think. I mean, like, where is that line when where is that line for like erotica, going too far? Is it porn? Is it romance? Is it just extra steamy? I mean, how do you guys all feel about that? And where is that line for you guys?
Hand holding. I think we should ban everything above hand holding. Even hand holding should potentially be banned because it's degenerate. So,
speaking of the United Arab Emirates, the funny thing is, like, you bring up the hand holding facetiously, but the thing is, the funny thing is that I've mentioned this before on another show.
Was I facetious? Do you know me? You don't know me. I might not be.
Is that I have seen a lot of really sexually explicit work that's boring as hell. And I have seen artwork that really, is hand holding, and it is like the erotic energy coming from that is incredible. And they're not doing anything more than just hand holding. So
Jeremy.
So I think that it's like, I mean, in the end, it's like each
no knees.
When for science, right? You're listening for science.
Yes.
I'm reading for the articles.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I got a whole drawer full.
Right. And the thing is that I think, well, going to your question about where the line is, in my case, literally drawn, it just depends. I mean, it's like there are certain things that I won't draw. And there are certain things that I can't believe that I've drawn. It just, I guess it just depends on like the context of the work, or if that's even relevant, or I mostly personally just like to stick with a lot of pinup type, racy pinups, and
Do you draw?
yeah. This is all my artwork on the screen.
Is this on the screen right here? Can
Yeah,
I
this
see some of
this is all my artwork on the screen.
Show a good picture here. Let's
see. I think you have to scroll back up again to get so there we go.
Look at that.
I'm not controlling the board. Very
okay.
That's a thick dog girl right there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, you're watching. I think I described this type of artwork to my father once, because he was like, "Wait, what is this that you're doing?" And I go, "Look, it's like what? It's like Disney movies on it's like taking mescaline and watching Disney movies. It's like that. That's what this is. It doesn't mean anything more than it is. It's
why did you go with dog girl instead of cat girl?
Oh, I try to do as many different types of animals as possible. Like this one's a chipmunk girl. I go with a rabbit girl. It's like I try to mix it up, get the whole zoo in there.
I feel like cat girls are socially acceptable though.
It's because of anime.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's because of anime.
See, and I remember, Daphne, the first time I saw your Kickstarter, and I was just like, ooh, like, oh. And then I was just like, And then I was like, why not?
Right.
Because I can tell you, like, when I was growing up, Thundercats, they
right.
were hot. So I was just like, okay, so if I had that mindset, I was just like, okay, it's not so weird. I read fantasy and I fall in love with monsters and things.
Right, exactly. It's like how many ladies here on the panel were disappointed when Beast turned into a human?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is foul.
I was going to say, if you can see my cover of my book, my dude has wings. I kind of got that idea from the gargoyles.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, great. Like that. Yeah, there's another show that has a lot of female fans.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Elizabeth, I'm sorry. If it was a cat girl though, you'd be all over this, and you'd be like, "Oh, that hot cat girl." So this is a chipmunk girl.
Yeah, it's like this is.
Let's not be racist, all right? So.
or speciesist.
I've got
whatever it is. Yeah. It's this. Drake in the chat says goat girls. Will you ever draw goat girls?
I have, yes.
You have?
Goat girls.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, you have a picture on your lap. Can you screen share this?
No, I don't. The computer that I'm working on, that I'm doing this on, is not my work computer, so I don't have my hard drive connected.
Oh man, we were all excited for the goat girls.
Varian, what were you going to say?
I've got a question, and two questions actually. One, Stephanie.
Yes.
Did you pick the wrong night to wear a furry style?
I was about to say, it's like that you came more prepared than I did.
I did.
Yeah. I
didn't know. I was just like.
Follow-up question, Stephanie. Are you a furry?
No.
She's more of a cat girl type of person.
And my next question is, all this talk about, McKayla said her character has wings. Daphne said she was disappointed that the Beast turned into, a human.
Yes.
I see Meredith shaking her head. Okay, I got a question. So you guys think that's all right, but yet I have seen women call dudes ugly. Explain to me how that makes sense.
Well, okay, if they were werewolves, okay, maybe we'd be more forgiving.
Werewolves? Werewolves are. I'm out of here. Werewolves are the worst. Not only can they leave you with some type of nasty infectious disease, but they can give you fleas. Okay,
it's true.
Heartworm. Okay. In fact, I have it on good authority. Okay, I have it on good authority that werewolves actually can spread the beer bug. So
Forget the lycanthropy. They'll spread bed bugs. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. And werewolves, you gotta take them out and get them a collar and stuff. Ugh. And Beast, not Beast. Beast from Beauty and the Beast was horrible. Horrible as an ugly character, this big. You know, he looked like. I mean, I know we played him, but no, absolutely not. Horrible. I'm out of here again. I had to come in here and tell you that. Varian hates werewolves.
So much.
I did make you write a werewolf book. You notice I didn't write it.
I'm writing the werewolf book for you.
That's right.
Oh.
You can write it.
Wow.
I'm not writing it. I don't want to. At night thinking about werewolves while I'm trying to sleep. What if the dog jumps up on me?
Oh. Matthew has a good question.
It's a really good question.
Yes. As women that don't shy from sexual scenes and themes, have you been slammed with pervs at conventions or online? Holy crap.
All the time.
I haven't been to
I'm
a
certain
convention
Lola
yet,
has never
so-
been bothered by a perv.
You'd be amazed at how much people project onto you because of the artwork that we're doing. It's like you am I surprised? No, but it's like it really, I think the assumptions that they make over the artwork, as opposed to just taking the artwork at face value for what it is the part that kind of irks me the most. That it's like, oh, you're drawing this type of artwork. It's like, are you horny all the time? And it's like Jesus Christ, dude. It's like the amount of research I have to do to get this work to look right. It's like the last thing. too much concentration trying to get this work to look right.
You're so unhorny after all that.
I mean, really, it's and it's like, it's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, has anybody else had that?
I write horror, okay, and I don't really have, like, there's no nudity in my work. There's no I wrote like one sexually explicit scene in like my first comic, but because of the way I dress at conventions, I get perverts because I wear like a lot of short dresses, and that's what I like to wear. Yeah. So I get perverts regardless of whether I write about perverted things or not. Yeah. So, I mean, pervs be everywhere. They find a reason.
That's true. That's true.
That's really just, but when they see artwork or something that, maybe exudes like a little bit more sexuality, I guess I can see that leading them toward, you going, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right. And I'm like, stop it.
Right. Get away from me.
Yeah, roll up the newspaper. And then I have to tell Lou to go away again.
Right.
Lou, stop it.
McKayla, what about you? Because with the romance,
I'm a virgin. I've never been to a convention yet.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
I would recommend not going to conventions.
Well, no, damn it! All my friends say I should go.
Your friends are wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
JDA, tell us why.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, because we're already talking about a bunch of degenerates, and all that.
Right.
But as a man who writes completely PG books, I just got to say, I mean, the ladies just come up to me all the time, and I'm like, I'm happily married. Just stop,
You're fighting them off.
What do you do?
The ladies don't come up to me. They stay pretty far away. It's probably. I'm short. They're like, but I will tell you this. I've watched Lola at the table before she gets followed by both people, and I'm like, this is, and I sit back and I watch. But I'll tell you this.
Who's better at selling books, Lola or you?
Oh, Lola, because I figured this out a long time ago. If I leave the table, like I bring booth girls, I bring Lola, and I'm like, hey, get two of your friends for me. They're really cute, and I'll dress them like things that would shame their parents, and put them at my table, and it's gonna be great. And what I noticed, and listen, I want to tell y'all something, because this is me. This is like confessional. Sometimes. You know how that Jurassic Park said nature just finds a way? Well, I found that if I'm not at the table, they sell books, they sell products, and then I come back around and I get the money and I leave again. And I said, wow, there's no career like this. And then I thought, yes, there is.
There's one career like this.
One career like this where, you put a bunch of women somewhere and say, I'll be back in a couple hours now. Make that money for me. I'll be back. And then I come back and then there's money and broken, and then you can see like their faces, like there's broken dreams, empty promises. And I'm like, yeah, give me this money. I'm going to Sizzler. And
the pimp daddy.
I feel bad. So nature found a way to try to turn me to a pimp. An art pimp. They're selling my stuff.
An art pimp.
They're selling my stuff. And I give them a cut. But I do have a question. JDA, your books.
Yes, sir.
PG.
What did I do?
You say your books are pretty much PG. I don't believe that.
They're totally PG. Yeah.
I know Meredith was getting ready to move into that, but would you consider would you consider today's books like we're seeing in Marvel and DC? Would you consider those PG books or more young adult? And then I'm out of here.
They're PG-13 a little bit. They go a little further, I think, in just swearing and innuendo than and a little bit tough on the I'd say the violence and blood probably too. Then what would I consider PG? But I think that's a mistake, frankly, because you go back to like the 70s and 80s when you look at the X-Men comics and John Byrne's Fantastic Four and all that stuff, and they managed to do in what was PG write better stories than are being used right now, I guess, with gimmicks and blood and sex and all that to cover up for like writing that just isn't all the way there and I'd say indies really have a different ball game, because most books I read these days are indie books and they're just fantastic, and they're just everybody in indies is really just trying to pour their passion and writing into stories and art into stories that are really just like as much as they could go. But when you get to these like properties by Warner Brothers and Disney, they're masking their lack of storytelling with the violence and with the sex and all that, and with the gimmicks. And so they can't really, I don't know, they can't compete with us is what it comes down to, my friends.
That's why they're mad. Yeah,
that's true. That's why they mad.
Yeah, that's why they're mad. The funny thing is, like, I think that also, it's like they're trying to, also it's like they're trying to be purposefully edgy, but they have nothing to show for it.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, Drake, they're not totally. If you've read The Stars Entwined, and I know this, Drake, and there is a sex scene in that, and I apologize. So yeah, but it is not explicit in a way, even though that exists in it, and it is very integral to the story. And so that's all I could say about that without spoiling it. Yeah.
I'm going to interject really quickly, if I can, because it is 10 o'clock and that is when I turn into a pumpkin.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I'm just going to sign off, but I wanted to say it was really nice to meet everybody, and I will see some of you guys next week. And good luck, and keep doing indie stuff, because
yes.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Have a good night.
Hope to see you again. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, I know that.
How do you ban this Jason Smith guy? He is just out of control here.
We're just ignoring him.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Because he's stuck in Mama's basement.
Okay.
So
oh yeah.
He is a male for simple dream.
Wow.
A simple request. It won't be granted tonight. But hit up my OnlyFans for pictures of my sweet.
If you want Varian's ass, you can hit up his OnlyFans. There you go.
Yeah. It's quite nice.
I was on a stream a month ago of a man who did have an OnlyFans, and that was interesting. And I didn't know what to say.
Well, I mean, what's funny is that for a split second, I thought about getting one for my artwork, because I've seen other artists do it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, that I think that might be crossing a line for me.
Why?
that's I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It was just, it's kind of like how Yeah, it's like how technically Pornhub allows people to upload artwork there too, and it's like, I don't know.
That might be a place to explore, and just see what kind of reception you have, because you could always take it down or shut down the account.
Yeah. Because it's like in the end, it's like I don't know, that seems to be a much bigger commitment that I'm willing to put into it.
Well, here's the thing. Matthew and I, we did an interview with I think it was Thank You Scientist with Tom Monda, and they do music, but they have a Pornhub account. Why? Because they have naked old dude in their videos.
Oh boy.
Okay. And I mean, if you were to watch the interview, the story is hysterical. But the fact is that they're musicians. They go out on tour, but they have this guy,
right?
Like old. I mean, old. And I remember watching the video and I'm going, why is this censored? And then he explained the story. And so, I mean, why not? You've got musicians over there. You've got artists over there.
Yeah. And I do know one comic book artist who does have an OnlyFans. But at the same time, she also is a burlesque dancer too. So, it all comes together.
I should say that I am not mature enough to know that anybody I know has an OnlyFans, because I'm like, hey, your OnlyFans account, I'm a prick. I need to be stopped. McKayla, I know we went to your page. Where can they find your book? They want to buy.
I don't think she could hear you.
I can't hear Varian.
Oh, Lola, you ask her here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear everybody but Varian.
McKayla?
Yeah.
Okay. He was asking, where can we find you and your book at?
The book is anywhere. Amazon, Walmart.com, wherever. And me, you can find at Facebook, Instagram, and my website, authorMcKaylaJade.com.
Very cool.
Awesome. Daphne, where can we find you at?
Oh, okay. So, well, for more tame adventures, funny animal fantasy, if that's more your thing, you can go to talltalesonline.com to read my regular, more mainstream comic book work. Mainstream being not porno like the sketchbook on Kickstarter. So it's you can check out my regular comic book work on talltalesonline.com, TAILS. And I also have a YouTube channel where I have art tutorials, demos, and sometimes live streams at Daphne Lage Art. Yes, there's my that's my comic book work. Yes.
Sweet.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
JDA, where can we find you at?
All right. I'm going to try to share my screen real quick, I guess, and then put up my current Kickstarter for Flying Sparks. And even though I've got this caught changing, it is a totally PG book, my friends. If you walk in on a superhero changing, it just is what it is. It's not my fault that she's a pretty lady. But if you go down a little bit and she's actually wearing her costume, you can see that she's a very modest gal. She's got a full-length dress here. It hikes up a little bit when she's up in the air like this. What can you do? But she's a superhero who does her thing, and she does it well. And the whole concept of this book is it's a hero dating a villain under her secret identity. And this is the villain right here. She doesn't understand that he's like a mob boss right now. So you got the little romance angle. You don't know what's going on. You got some mystery going on. And you got a supervillain stalker who's like trying to just destroy them both. So this is going on in Kickstarter right now. We're already at 8,100 as of tonight. We got one backer.
Very nice, very nice.
So love to have you guys check this out. It's called Flying Sparks again, and I'd put the link in the chat if I could, but I can't. And that's the best spot to find me. Kickstarter, Flying Sparks.
You know what? If you guys want to drop your links in the private chat, we can drop them in.
Oh, sweet! I will do that for you.
Cool. Yeah,
I'll make sure all the links get put out after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Now I want to I want to thank everybody listening on Indie Vote Radio. Got up to 65,412. Actually, sorry, 404 people listening. Which is really cool. I really appreciate it, guys who listen on the radio. They're listening in through Amazon, well, Alexa, I should say. They're also listening in through our app, which you can do. You can listen in on the app as well. As soon as I find that picture, I'll bring it up. There we go. Oh, hang on a minute. What if she's flying above people and they look up her skirt? Yeah, JDA. Are kids being taught that
That would be very misogynistic of you, and you shouldn't do that.
hopefully she's wearing boy shorts.
Well, you know,
Boy shorts are all the rage.
Most ice skaters wear those little like colored things that match their dress.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Girls, what do you call that? Like above their underpants? You know, an ice skater. One of the girls has to know this, right?
I think it's leotard.
Leotard.
Yeah,
Is that what it is? There you go.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So that is hypothetically what Metagirl wears. We have no upskirt shots in the book, so we have not proved that one way or another. But I assume that's what she wears.
We got to get you one of those covers that's just like totally cheesecake and biscuit.
Well, it's right there on the screen.
It's right here on the scron, sir.
Right.
we gotta go further. We gotta totally like this. We gotta make her sad. We gotta make everybody sad. I want to thank everybody for listening. Indie Vote Radio, you are listening to us. If you're using Google Play, we appreciate it. iOS, download the streaming app. Look for Indie Vote Radio there, and you can download the app and listen to us live. Also, if you are bored and you're at home and you have a Roku device or Roku-enabled television, Indie Vote TV, bunch of streaming movies up there. Streaming movies. We got some horror movies up there for Halloween coming very soon, and some more content. Check that out. And you guys can join Mr. Randy Zimmerman early tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Randy will be there. 9 a.m. Sorry, 9 a.m. What am I thinking? My appointment's at 10. At 9 a.m. Randy will be talking to a few people on the Indie Vote Breakfast Buzz. We've had a great show here tonight. I think we I didn't put the email thing up. I sure didn't put your email thing up. There it is. If you have a question or a comment, geekgasm at indievote.com. Put that message to Lola. She'll make sure your question gets in. And that's pretty much it. I want to thank you all. I want to thank our guests for joining us here tonight. Hopefully you stop by their sites, pick up some of those books. We've got novelists, we've got comics, we've got a book that I'm going to hand to a child the color that Daphne put out. It's going to be awesome. Wait till I do that. I'm going to give my kid that. Hey, color in this, Junior. No, I'm not. I have the retina to do it. Thank you for joining us, Lola. Say goodbye. She's like, yeah, you could. Oh, did I mute you? I'm sorry.
Yes, you keep muting me.
Uh-oh.
I want to thank everybody again for coming on. I really appreciate it. Everybody that's listening, please check out everybody's books that were on tonight. They look awesome and sound awesome from what I've heard and seen. That wraps it up for Geekgasm tonight. I will be back on next Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yep, thank you.